Hey, what's up guys? Welcome once again to the channel. It's always great to have you back here. The reason I'm making this video is because I want to start a series of new videos, which are going to be essentially reviews on chemical engineering related stuff. So essentially what's happening, some news on the industry, several companies, products, and where is the industry headed. And when I mean industry, I mean not only chemical engineering, but overall industry. Of course, punctually in chemical industries, but overall where the industry is going. I make this because I have been receiving a lot of emails, questions regarding on how chemical engineers, or especially new graduates, students can get this grasp of what is the industry. It's pretty straightforward that if you're not working in the industry, it's pretty hard to get news. And back in the day, in my days, it was very hard to get this type of information, what's happening all around there. You needed to go back into the actual chemical engineering, let's say, industry, let's say in this case, BASF. You needed to go there, check out the news and so on. But in this specific case, I'm inspired by this newsletter, which is called thecolumn.co. So actually, let's go and check it out right here. Actually, I got subscribed back in November 24, I think, back then. And I have been getting newsletters every 2 or 3 days on what's happening on the industry. So for instance, let me go into the recent ones. And I will be making the review of the latest, let's say, 2 weeks in this video. Make no worries. But for now, I just want to show you the structure of what I have been checking out. And actually, let's go back here. This is the column, and I really love the name the column because it's kind of funny that if you tell anyone other than chemical engineer, I have this newsletter which is that column, they will think it's a paper or newspaper, something related to that. But for us chemical engineers, I'm pretty sure that the very first thing that you imagine when they say the column is a distillation column. So I think that the name is very on point there. And okay, so what's the column? Essentially, it's a conversationally written email newsletter about events in the chemical process industries. It's a free and easy way to stay up to date and doesn't require years of experience to understand. So this is great because, as stated before, guys, I wanted to share this with my students or recent graduates, which may not have the best experience. They don't know much more what's happening there. They don't know about companies, trends and so on. And it's free, which is great. So guys, definitely go now, and it's just for free. You can check it out. If you don't like it, you just unsubscribe. But I'm pretty sure that you're going to stick to the column. And actually, I had some words with the creator of the column, which is Darius Mortesavi. He's a recent graduate from Texas A&M University. He is studying, of course, chemical engineering. He's a great guy, and I'm pretty sure that he will be getting the column into the next level. But for now, guys, let me show you more on the actual content. So this is what I got 5 hours ago. So you can check out here the column. And I really love it because it's pretty straightforward in the sense of the structure. It's always first the common indicators for chemical engineers. How much is the crude oil, Brent oil, West Texas, and natural gas. Talking about natural gas, it happened something very interesting on Texas on last week, so we're going to be talking about that as well. But let me keep talking about the structure. You get the first article, Henkel makes more photopolymers for 3D printing. And I love it because if you don't know what's Henkel, typically you will get these links directly either to Wikipedia or to the company's link, so you can directly, straightforward, know what they're talking about. The details, if you want to check it out, and always a last, let's say, the last hook that it's always present there. Second article, this new urea plant in China will use way less steam. And I really also love it how is the actual written content. It's like as stated by the column itself, it's a conversational thing. It's not something fancy that you will typically encounter in many other, let's say, formal chemical engineering sites. It's just what's happening, pretty straightforward, digested, no fancy stuff. and another article. Typically what you will get is between 3 to 4 articles or news. Then some, this is like very bullet point news. I also like it because it's very easy to get. Coca-Cola just introduced some new bottles made of recycled PET. If you're into that, you can check it out. And I like it because it links you to the original source. So it's not linking to itself, which will be kind of strange. It's linking directly to the source. Always a molecule of the day. If you're into chemistry, I'm pretty sure if you read this, you will, in 1 year, you will learn a lot on chemical stuff itself. It's not only about the name or structure, it's also where are they used, how they are produced, what type of companies, for instance, BASF, Covestro, and so on. And always something random. It can be a meme, it can be a news, it can be an image. In this case, congratulations, you made it to the bottom. Please enjoy this gift as your reward. And that's essentially the structure, guys. This is, let's say, the first part of the video that I wanted to take out to you guys is that I will be doing some reviews on this type of chemical engineering news. And now the second part will be the actual review itself. So it's not just me going to be reading. I will be selecting some of the most relevant ones and telling you what I think about, maybe what should you be checking out if you like that content and so on. So for instance, let's talk about natural gas, which has been a very important issue in Texas. I'm from Northeast Mexico, which is literally in the, let's say, 200 to 100 kilometers from the border in Texas. We got some very cold weather, winter style, sub-zero temperatures, Celsius speaking. And we had a lot of problems with our electricity because we are dependent on Texas gas. So natural gas pipelines were having some chaotic stuff, and the governor of Texas also prohibited them to export the natural gas because, of course, Texas was also having a problem. So as you can see, maybe you wonder why is natural gas low. Is because it increased drastically and it's now setting back to normal. Let's go back to the news on the 22nd of February, which is 2 days ago. Okay, so this is interesting. If you're into DuPont, I always read what are doing the top chemical companies. For instance, BASF, Linde, DuPont, Dow Chemical, all those are always interesting to see where they're going because those are the monsters that redirect the chemical industry. Okay, Delaware-based chemical company DuPont. Okay, so here's the context. Essentially, they are doing some interesting stuff with lithium. As you can imagine, guys, the electric cars are coming here, and most of them, if not in the future, are going to be every one of them are going to be using batteries of lithium hydroxide or lithium material base. So they're talking about how they can be, if you want to get technically, you can check out here the demand of EVs, batteries and their raw materials. Okay, so yeah, essentially it's lithium itself, which is getting interesting, not only on the batteries itself, but it's a material which is going to be in very high demand. Okay, let's skip this one. CO2 to methanol plant in China starts construction. So that's great, guys. It's always, because I typically hear or listen out there that now it's some type of industries are going out of business and some materials are not the future. So when you see a China company doing CO2 to methanol plants, you can see that methanol is still relevant. You can see that CO2 capture technologies are going to be important. The source of CO2 is still relevant. As you can see, Icelandic renewable chemical technology company, Carbon Recycling International, has announced their completion of the process design package for its first emissions to liquid ETL plant in China. So if you want to check out the technology, you can do it. So let's do it just for the sake of checking out the content right here, right next to Wikipedia, with the so famous Fischer-Tropsch process. If you want to check it out, it's also important to know about processes. And zooming out, let's say a conclusion right here. What else is going on? The battery, okay, a little bit on winter storm impacted on 6 million BPD barrels per day of refining capacity. So this is important, especially if you're into the oil and gas industry. You can always check out what happened. Yeah, Texas had a very rough week last week and previous week. The US is officially back up in the Paris Climate Accord. So that's also very important news. I don't know. Well, this is kind of political stuff, but you can check it out if you want it. Italy's main petroleum company bought a 140 megawatt of solar power. Well, that's interesting. Dow is looking to sell 1 billion worth of infrastructure assets in Germany. So that's also great if you're in Germany and maybe you're in BASF, you're in Linde, you're in any chemical industry that's right there. You may want to check out what's happening out there. Molecule of the day, acrylic acid. And the last part right here. You made it to the bottom, so please enjoy the picture of Thomas Midgley as your reward. Okay, in the atmosphere more than anyone. Why? Well, this is actually just my curiosity. Okay, what happened? Okay, apparently something I didn't know this guy, but if you want to check it out, guys. Let's go a little bit quicker. I don't want to make that long of a video. So you can see natural gas is still adjusting itself to the original price, and Sina and Koch family shake on chemical recycling. As you can see, the trends are chemical stuff going into green energy. You will not see that many oil and gas news, or at least not so strong in this type of news. More activated carbon means less carbon in the air. Well, that's great, of course. Yeah, you need to take carbon sources. CO2 is, of course, one of the best ones. And Technip FMC breaks up after being together for 3 years. Didn't have any idea of what this is, so this is great for me. For instance, I want to know about it. Apparently they are, I always go to Wikipedia. Okay, they are still in business. A very great business they are doing. Oil and gas. Okay, yeah, straightforward. What else is going on? What a scam for my fellow Brazilian friends. Okay, it's going here. Here are those yellow clocks made of Braskem EAA biopolymers. Let's check those. Okay, they seem like cracks. Great. Shell divested some Canadian shale for a cool 700 million. Okay, that's also interesting, especially if you're in oil and gas in Canada. Remember that shale gas is a very lucrative business out in Canada. So for sure it's going to be affecting some Canadian fellow colleagues. Air Liquide sold a bunch of its Greece-based assets to SOAL Group. Okay, and hydrogen peroxide, if you have some doubts, I'm pretty sure that you already know about it. And you made it to the bottom, this GIF as reward. Okay, that's okay, not so great of a price for going to the bottom. Now, this is the one I wanted to go directly, but I wanted to give a little bit of context, and it's the one on the February 17th. As you can see, the natural gas went up, skyrocket. Actually, this is most likely adjusted value because natural gas went crazy. It went to the roof because some refineries were not able to, well, technically some LNG were not able to deliver, and there was a crazy demand for natural gas and there was no offering. So let's check it out. Texas refineries shut down as temperature plummets. So in case you don't know, guys, once again, winter struck us hardly, as we are not used to in the northeast of Mexico and in Texas area. And because of that, multiple Texas refineries operated by Motiva, Valero, Total, ExxonMobil, and Citgo have announced plant shutdowns, which of course you can imagine that these are plants that operate continuously. This is very bad for business. Setting the scene, Texas is home to 31 refineries, which is one, I would say Texas is top 3 states on oil and gas production in the USA, which is responsible for the production of 4.6 million barrels of oil per day. I didn't know that. It's always changing. So if you're into that, and especially if you're a Texas guy or you're in the US, of course, this is relevant information. A little bit on the cost. Okay, yeah. Crude oils prices, the barrel itself. Okay. Let's go back. To process that oil, you need a supply of electricity, water, and natural gas, none of which were guaranteed. And I know it sounds crazy that even water was not guaranteed, guys, but once again, we are not used to this type of cold weather, and I'm pretty sure Texans were not used as well. So yeah, why would you invest in heating and stuff like that when rarely you will see a winter from North Pole? But once again, the guys that forecast that are the genius, but there was no forecast. Anyways, guaranteed when pipelines are freezing. So this is one of the main issues. Pipelines were freezing. There's pipeline freezing. If you want to check out the actual problems, what happened with this, I will challenge you to check out the content. Raw materials aside, these plants need their employees who can safely drive to work because, once again, it's frozen out there. So the streets are frozen and there is no preparation for this. It's not like you're in Minnesota or Chicago and those places which they're prepared for that. No, here it's essentially, well, this is new for us. No way to fix this. Okay, what does this mean? Shocked supply means the price of fossil fuels will rise as a result. The weather has sent oil prices to near 13-month highs, so essentially 1 year, while front-month gas futures jump to an over 3-month high. Taking price out of the picture, prolonged cold temperatures, and this could lead to damaged equipment for sure. You know, it's once again, we are not prepared for this, so the equipment is not, let's say, being taken care of. And well, if you want to check out more info, you can always go here. If you want to know more on the Texas deep freeze, will be great. Okay, let's go to this one. Lanxess drops 1.1 billion on a benzene-based acquisition. So Lanxess is a German company. It's very common in the Cologne area or Northwest Westphalia. No, Rhineland. It's in near Cologne. Has announced the acquisition of US-based specialty chemical company Emerald Kamala Chemical. Okay, so this is just me just checking out the content. I did know Lanxess. I did not know Emerald Kalama Chemicals. So what they're doing is one of the world's largest producer of benzoic acid. And benzoic acid, guys, if you have checked out my petrochemical course, you know it's very important. Including benzaldehyde, benzyl alcohol, sodium benzoate. Okay, those chemicals are primarily used for food preservatives, households and cosmetic applications, flavors, fragrances, as well as animal nutrition. So essentially, it's a very big business in the petrochemical industry. We last saw Lanxess when it acquired disinfectant producers last month. So this is on point because if you're into Lanxess, you will see that the newsletter will be also into like trying to reference itself, so you can check out, okay, what was that about? And here it goes. Lanxess acquire a company to protect more livestock. Okay, that's great. Probably wondering how does a chemical company has anything to do with food industry or animals? Well, yeah, definitely check it out. Spoiler alert, antibiotics. Okay, I think we are mostly done. Yeah, this is February 15. We can check out, yeah, once again, DuPont. So we have heard about Dow, DuPont, BASF, and Air Liquide, Coca-Cola. That's great. So this is a refresher, and this is literally just in 1 week, guys. So it's 9 days. A great refresher and great for you if you're into the chemical industry. I'm not going to be checking anymore these. Let's go for this last one, which is BASF, top chemical company. A couple of BASF Texas plants to be powered by renewables. So this is very on point as well, going back, or technically going to the future, because this one was before the accident or the tragedy that occurred in Texas with the winter. But essentially, they are going renewable. And as you probably knew, BASF is one of the chemical companies that is pushing a lot into the green energies. And let's see what's happening here. German chemical giant BASF has announced that its Texas sites on Freeport and Pasadena will be powered by 90 to 70% renewable energy. Well, that's actually great for them. what type of energy is here? BASF sign supply sites. Wind power, so 25 megawatts and 55 megawatts of solar power. Okay, yeah. So that's a great combination. You have wind, you have solar, and of course fossil fuels. So in a not so windy day, you have solar power, and in a cloudy day, you have wind power. And worst case scenario, you always go back to fossil fuels. Zooming out, the renewables power supplied to those sites is done through power purchase agreement, PPA, okay, paying, okay. Well, and there's also Shell. But I stated, guys, I don't want to get that deep into the news. I want you to let me know if you like this type of content. Maybe you're not that into chemical industry. Let me check this out. Let's go back here and let me know if you like the content or if you really are not into this. So I do get the people, I have friends, I have colleagues that they will not see that much of a value in this type of content because they say, well, I'm not going to be changing jobs, and if I change jobs, I will be just moving from offer to offer and what they are offering me to or positions. But I really think it's very important to know what's happening in the industry. I really know, it's important to know what's happening, and also to have, let's say, these small talks, especially if you see other fellow chemical engineers that are not in the same company, or maybe even in the same company. It's way better to have someone that, of course, if you're going to apply for a sales job, someone that knows about the industry, that can identify several type of products, several type of companies. Well, of course, you're going to prefer that one compared to other that doesn't know that much into the industry. So just for the sake of getting updated and knowing about the industry, I will say it's totally worth it. Otherwise, I want to show you a trick, which now I'm thinking about. So the interesting part right here is that I got all these since I subscribed, November. So whenever, let's say that tomorrow I'm going to, I don't know, a oil and gas conference in Houston. So I can go here and simply click here, has the words Houston. Let's say what if there's anything on Houston. Well, apparently yes. Let's see if it's relevant. Okay, INEOS buys. Okay, that's interesting. What else do we have on Houston? Nothing. Okay, more butane to be produced outside of Houston. So it will be great to be, I don't know, talking with someone and say, oh, what do you think about the increase on production of 1-butane? Or you can also, let's say, Dallas Fed appoints Lion Vessel CEO to Houston Port. Okay, you can also talk about that depending on the company. That will be for Houston. Let's go back and I don't know. Let's talk about maybe a company. We were talking about BASF. So let's say that you are applying to a job and you can see that there's a lot of news into BASF. You can go just to the latest one. So let's say Elan's 100 price. Let's go to BASF. Okay, Air Liquide to provide gases to BASF battery materials plants. That will be nice to talk about. You can ask, oh, what's up with that? How's Air Liquide as a seller? Okay, we already checked this one. Okay, this one, and well, this is just general culture. Anthraquinone process. Anyways, guys, also if you want to check a name of someone, it might come up. That's something I haven't noted here. Maybe names of people, CEOs, key people, C-level people. That will be also interesting to have. Anyways, guys, so let me know what do you think. I really think that the least you should be doing is subscribing to this newsletter and getting this content. And I want to thank once again to Darius Martesavi for bringing up this content, which in my opinion is more than great. Pretty straightforward, digestible, accessible, free content for chemical engineers. So guys, that was it. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the following episodes, videos, courses, whatever place you will see this face. Bye bye, guys.